guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'll be showing you how to cut a normal sleeve, and for that I'll be using this piece of cloth. And so basically you just get the piece of cloth that you're going to be using. So I'm going to split this into two just so I can show you that this is two sleeves, right? So now that I've split it into two, I have two pieces of fabric, right? So the next thing I'm going to check is I'll fold it into two, check the width. And to get the width, what I'm going to check is the armhole divided by two. So whatever your armhole is, and by armhole I mean this is your shoulder, right? Let's say this is your shoulder and this is your arm, and then under here is your armpit, right? So from this point here, how you're going to get your armhole is to measure from this point on top of your shoulder down under the armhole and then come back up again. So sometimes you might get 16, 20, 20 something. So whatever you get, you divide it by 2. So let's say you got 20, you divide it by 2, so that will give you 10. So that means you make sure that your fabric width-wise is up to 10. So mine is up to 10, so I'll mark 10 here. So the next thing you have to check is the length of the sleeve you're working with. So for me, let's say I'm working with also 10, let's say I'm working with 7 for the length of my sleeve. So remember to add half an inch for your sleeve width. Half an inch for the attaching the sleeve, because this will be the top of my sleeve, this will be the end of the sleeve. So half an inch for the top part of this to attach to the shoulder of your dress, and then you also remember to add maybe 1 inch for the end here to fold the end so that it will be neat. This applies to even long sleeve shirts or whatever. Just know the length that you want to use for the full length of the sleeve. You add maybe 1 inch to that, and then remember to add half an inch to attach it to the main dress, to the bodice of the dress. So after that, the next thing I'm going to do now is to check from the shoulder to the what will be my cap length. Cap length is like the top part of the sleeve, the parts that, because you know normally sleeve, the shape of the sleeve normally comes something like this, right? Like something like this, like an S, right? So the cap part is this part that has this part that has this angle, right? From this part of this angle to the length of this your arm width, from armhole length, right? So from this part of the cap to this line here, that's the 10. That's what we are trying to calculate now. And to get this particular part, right, from this cap point to the end here, what you do normally is to divide your bust measurement, which is maybe let's say your bust measurement is 40, divide it by 12 and then add half an inch, or you can just use 4 as your constant, or you can use 3. It depends on your size. If you're more on the bigger size, you might want to use maybe 4 or maybe 4.5. Just divide your bust measurement by 12 and then add 0.5 to it. So for me, I'm going to be using 3.7 because my bust measurement is my bust measurement is 40. So for me, it's supposed to be around 3 point. The half an inch, remember. So when you divide it by 12, the half an inch is for attaching the cap part of the top to the dress. So for me, I'm going to be using 4, right? I'm going to be using 4 on the dot. So let me mark the 4 here, and then I'm going to mark on this line that I have my 4. Like I have the 4 from top to bottom, and then on this line that I have my 4, I'm going to make sure that I mark it to meet this 10, right? So I'm going to connect it this way, and then what you're going to do now is from this point, or whichever you prefer, maybe from this top part, just try to keep your hand steady and then mark like you're writing an S, right? Like you're writing an S. You curve it down all the way down. If you feel like it's not still okay, you just go back again and mark it like an S. That's basically how you do it. And then for the end of your sleeve, whatever your sleeve width is, for me, my sleeve width is going to be 14. So 14 divided by 2, that will give me 7. 7 plus 1 for my seam allowance, that will be 8. So I'm going to mark 8 here, fold it this way, and mark the 8 so that I don't cut it anyway. So I'm just going to mark this connected to this point, and then I'm going to trace it out. Make sure you keep your hand straight at this point, the 1 inch that you're going to use for folding, because if not, if you cut it this way from this 1 inch here, then when you go to fold it in, it won't be straight, like it won't be up to this part, will be wider than this end. So it's better to always keep your hand straight so that when you fold it, it will fit in perfectly. So I'm just going to cut mine out. So that's basically how you cut a normal sleeve. So this is a normal sleeve here, but when you're done cutting out this normal sleeve, so guys, what I was trying to explain here before is just to get the cap width, which is from this point here to this point here, right? The distance between these two parts here, you can always use just 4 anytime you want to do it, or you can use 3. I've been using 3 for years and it hasn't affected what I'm doing. Or you can use 3.5, whichever one you want to use. Or if you want to be just accurate, divide your bust measurement by 12 and then add ½ inch, and the ½ inch you're adding is for this to attach this top part to the dress, or the top, whichever. So let me just recap what I said now, and also don't forget to give it a notch at this top part here so that you don't mistake when you go to attach the color, so that you know the center part that you're attaching with. And remember, I already have 2 of these here. So basically what you do is fold your fabric into 2, come down by 4 inches, right? When you come down by 4 inches, divide your armhole into 2, right? With whatever you have, maybe 10, maybe 20, maybe 22, divided by 2, so you have maybe 11, maybe you have 10. Mark it this way. The next thing you do is, after marking it this way, from the end of this point, try to write like an S, and by an S I mean like this way, right? Just keep trying until you, because me, that's the way I learned doing mine. Just keep trying until you perfect it. Just like an S, you come down this way. And mine is not really accurate here, but just keep trying until you get the perfect S that you want, and then that is it. And after that, you normally come in, when you open it up, right, you know the one that you want to use as your front panel, you come in by ½ inch here, like 0.5, and trace it out again. Like, you know the one that will be the front part of your top. So let's say the part with this chalk is going to be my front part. You come in by ½ inch, which is 0.5 here, and then you trace that 0.5 out again, right? So I'm still going to cut this in, because remember, even when you're cutting the normal bodies, the ½ inch is always what you remove from the front panel of the bodies. So the same goes for the sleeve. So guys, I'm done cutting mine, and yeah, so this is basically what it would look like. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please leave a comment, like, share, and subscribe. Bye.